This is the RAD Position with ASRT CEO and Executive Director Melissa Pergola. A podcast for medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the RAD Position podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Pergola, ASRT CEO, and I'm with
her podcast partner, Ray Arambula.
And tonight, we have an episode that is focused on ASRT's Be Seen campaign, right? So if you're not familiar with the Be Seen campaign, it is an initiative that was started a couple of years ago, but it's going to go on for several years. And it's where we are raising the visibility and respect for all of our disciplines in medical imaging and radiation therapy.
Now, we've done several commercials, but for this podcast episode, we wanted to highlight the radiographer commercial with Erin Schartner. So let's go ahead and roll that footage.
As a radiographer, every day is different. We're often the first step in the healing process. We have a lot of responsibility. Our images are critical for doctors to diagnose and treat patients.
Your hip is broken. Let's get you to surgery.
What we do every day makes a difference in our patients' lives. We capture the best image no matter what the situation. Radiographers have always been on the front lines of healthcare, and it's time for us to be seen.
Tonight, we are actually going to introduce you to the face of the radiographer for the Be Seen commercial.
How exciting. We're joined by a star, so let's roll out the red carpet.
Yeah. Hey, Erin, we're so happy to have you.
Hi, thanks. I'm so excited to be here today.
So as we said, today's guest is Erin Schartner. She's a dedicated leader in imaging education and MRI technology. Erin currently serves as the Clinical Education Manager for the MR Applications team at GE Healthcare, where she plays a key role in advancing clinical training and innovation. Her journey began as a radiographer and CT technologist after graduating from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and Aurora St. Luke School of Radiologic Technology. She later specialized in MRI, working at several major institutions in the Milwaukee area before joining GE Healthcare as a clinical applications specialist and later leading the applications team. Now based in Green Bay, Erin is passionate about advancing imaging education and helping technologists grow through innovation and knowledge.
And Erin, we definitely want to dive in more into the Be Seen commercial, but let's back up and tell us about your path into medical imaging.
Sure. So believe it or not, it actually started back in high school. So when I was getting ready to decide what I wanted to do with my life, at the young age of 16, 17. So I knew that I wanted to do something in healthcare. I love the math and the sciences. My sister was a nurse, but I knew I didn't want to do nursing. And fortunately, my mom actually worked for two radiologists that opened their own imaging center in my hometown. And she worked more on like the business operations side.
Wow.
But she kind of gave me the idea. She was like, hey, you should look into this. You could probably get a job right out of school and it might be interesting. So kind of helped out there a little bit and was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let me go for this. And so I went to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and they actually had a biological sciences bachelor program with a radiologic technologist or radiography degree as well.
Nice.
Went into that and did all my prereqs and got into my top choice, which was the Aurora St. Luke School of Radiologic Technology, which is a 24-month clinical program. And so got into that and honestly fell in love with it. You think what radiography is or what, an x-ray tech does. And then as soon as I got into there and finished my first year, I was just in love with it. And honestly, I found such a passion for patient care and learning. And it was just way much more than I expected. And then our senior year in my program, we actually had the opportunity, we get to rotate through all of the other imaging modalities. So got to see MRI, CT, nuclear medicine, ultrasound, mammography, and kind of figure out if you're interested in anything else. And that's where I found my other love of MR and CT and was like, okay, this is really cool. I think I want to do this. And so, like my mom had said, I actually did get a job before I graduated. I was hired from school. And it was initially an X-ray position, but they were cross-training me in CT right away. And then I moved into full-time CT, and then similarly had an opportunity to cross-train into MRI and got that opportunity.
Wow.
Once I was in MR, I kind of just fell in love with that. And went full speed ahead with MR for the rest of my imaging career. And again, kind of worked at two larger institutions in the Milwaukee area. So a lot of great clinical experience, a lot of really advanced exams, and just fell in love with MR. And fortunately, I had two colleagues from X-ray school and one former coworker that all did clinical applications at GE Healthcare.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so one of them was an radiography clinical application specialist, a CT app specialist, and then an MR app specialist. So I kind of knew that job was out there. I knew what it entailed a little bit, and always kept in communications with them. And so when an opportunity came up for me to have opportunity to go work at GE Healthcare as an MRI application specialist, I applied, went through the process, and got hired, and then kind of started my journey at GE Healthcare.
And is that your role now at GE?
So when I started, I was a clinical application specialist in the MR modality. And then I moved into a few other hybrid roles. I was like the team leader for two regions in the United States. And then did a couple other hybrid, taught a lot of headquarters classes because I was local to our headquarters building where those are hosted. And then the last few years, I have been in the clinical education manager role. So that's what kind of led me to that.
Very cool. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about Be Seen, but first I just want to tell you, so interesting. I didn't know that your mother worked in radiology, and I don't know if I've ever said this, but my mother was medical transcription for radiology.
Oh.
So I think that's why she knew when the application and the acceptance came in, she needed to send me off to radiography school. But what a neat similarity. Both of our mothers worked in the field.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? And I remember seeing the CT, seeing the MR, but not really knowing about it. And it was just really cool to kind of have her know what I was about to get into too a little bit.
Yeah. And that's another similarity. When I was in my program, we also got to rotate through all of the modalities. And I'm not sure they do that anymore everywhere. But I think that's a really cool thing to do. So I have a question for you about Be Seen. Were you familiar with the Be Seen campaign prior to ASRT asking you to appear in the radiography commercial?
So I follow the ASRT on social media platforms. So I saw it on my YouTube, channel subscription, Instagram, and I think I saw it on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew the general look, and I remember, the one actor's face when I rewatched it again. And so I did remember that. I don't know if I ever saw it on TV, but I do know it was on some of the TV commercials as well, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So since you did see it, I'm interested to find out your opinion on whether you feel like the Be Seen campaign is worthwhile.
Absolutely. So I think it's really awesome that you're including people that are actually in those positions in the commercials, because it really just speaks volumes to how passionate we all are. And I think that comes across in the commercials, because anybody that gets into the field, is in it for a reason. I'm super passionate about patient care and education and the evolving technologies that we have in imaging. And so I hope that came across in my commercial. And I think for all of us, we think it's just super important to get the message out there about all of the different aspects of medical imaging and just do our part to help educate others and, promote people going into this field. Because as we know, I think there isn't always enough people to staff. There's just a shortage. And I think it's an amazing field. There's so many different aspects you could get into as a career. And I think it's just all about letting people know what we do.
Yeah. And we talk about that a lot, Ray, right? Like how amazing this profession is and trying to get the word out, right? Which is what you said, Erin, is really at the heart of the Be Seen campaign. But why do you think it's always been a challenge for us to be recognized for the important work that we do?
So I think we are the behind the scenes people, right? We're not in the room with the patient and the doctor when they're getting told they have a certain diagnosis or they're getting told, hey, we have to take you to surgery. It's an emergency. But we're those people that are honestly a part of that whole process for the patient, right? We're there
Yeah.
before they get diagnosed. We aid in the diagnosis. We're often there after when they're going through treatment or after they've had a major surgery, and we're following up with them. And I think we just kind of get missed because we're just kind of behind the curtain or behind the scenes a little bit. And there's really just a general misunderstanding, I think, of what we do and the expertise that goes into our careers in medical imaging. So that's something that I love to educate people on. I think back to my college days and post-college days when I was working in the medical imaging field, and none of my friends work in the healthcare. None of them work in that field. And so I feel like I was always educating them on what I did, explaining it again, and trying my best just to help people understand what we really do and kind of how we play a role in healthcare and how we are just, not always right up front, but
Right.
we're always there.
Well, and the campaign has resonated across the profession, but seeing someone from the field as the face of it adds authenticity for sure. What was it like for you to serve as the radiographer in the new Be Seen commercial?
So it was definitely like the highlight of my career, I think, to be able to not only be behind the scenes, helping facilitate it, but also being in front of the camera and seeing my face on there. It was just an amazing experience, an amazing opportunity. And it's been really cool to, get text messages from people that I used to work with or my friends that still work in the industry being like, hey, we saw this banner
That's so
on
cool.
Facebook. And you're like, okay, yep, that's me.
That's so cool. And were you nervous?
Yes, I always
Yeah.
laugh when I'm talking to my colleagues about it. I'm like, I think it only took me 38 takes for my one long scene. But yeah, I think it's normal to be nervous, but I have such an appreciation for people that work in that industry because it was so foreign to me. I had no idea that all of that goes into a 30-second commercial.
Yeah.
You see it on TV and you think, okay, it's not that bad. Probably doesn't take that long, but there's so much that goes into it. And
Yes.
it's just incredible to see your guys' vision kind of come to light and see the finished product. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's okay, Erin, the 38 takes, because you mentioned Michael Benzaya, who was the first face of our first Be Seen commercial, and he is a professional actor, right? But for him, there were even multiple takes, and I think about us as imaging professionals who aren't professional actors, right? I can't imagine. I know Ray asked, "Were you nervous?" It had to be almost overwhelming, right? Because you're excited because you're representing what we do, but it's such a different role, and really not having been there before, seeing how many takes it takes and how many different angles, and you have to do it again, and then you get direction, right? Say this word differently, right? It has to be a little bit overwhelming.
It was, and there's literal bright lights on you and heat on you, so that just kind of adds to it. But you're right; it's different than what we typically do during our day to day, and getting feedback. Okay, put influx on this word or this word. Change your arms this way. It's a lot to put it together. So total appreciation for people that work in that industry because it is not easy.
Yeah, well, you did an amazing job. So we appreciate you so much being the face of the commercial because you were absolutely perfect. Now, you mentioned a little bit about some feedback you've received. Is there any other feedback that you've received?
Mostly positive. Everyone's just really excited about it. I've gotten some questions from people, coworkers asking more, hey, when are there other campaigns coming? Which is something that I try to always include if I'm communicating it to people. I shared it with my team, all the other modality and businesses in GE Healthcare we, shared it with and tried to be like, hey, there's more coming. We're highlighting every modality in the imaging space. So I think it's super important. One funny thing is I actually have an almost 4-year-old and I had to show him the commercial when it was done. And so it's been kind of fun to be like, this is what mommy does, and he's mostly concerned with, is he okay? What happened to him? How did he break his hip? So I'm like, okay,
That's so cute.
I think it starts that young, right? Letting people know, hey, this is what mommy does. You could do this one day, or, kind of get it in their heads that it's a really cool profession.
I don't know, Erin. If it was me, I'd probably start off every conversation with like, yeah, you probably see me in that TV commercial. I was in that TV spot.
Oh, well, I saw you on TV. I saw it streaming. I was visiting my daughter and son-in-law and my granddaughter, and she's 2, she's not 4, so she didn't pay much attention. But I was in the kitchen and I heard your voice and I ran out to the television. My daughter was streaming something and I'm like, that's our commercial. That's Erin. She was like, no way, Mom. So I got to say, hey, that's our commercial, even though I wasn't the talent. But I can't even imagine being the talent and people saying, oh my gosh, I saw you on television.
Yeah, it's been super cool. And just to be a part of something bigger, I think is super important. And it's just been, like I said, a highlight of my career so far. So really appreciate the opportunity and it was awesome.
Yeah. And thank you for getting the word out about us doing all modalities, because since then we've launched the MRI, right, which you helped with. And then also the radiologist assistant is going to be launching. And we're coming back to GE, right, as our partner to do 4 more commercials. So we're super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited to see the finished product and see kind of the storylines. It's been really cool to be a part of.
All right. Well, this has been so much fun getting some behind the scenes look at what happened in the filming. And I just want to thank you again, Erin, because you were absolutely fabulous. And we're so happy that you were the face of the radiographer, and we can't thank you enough.
Thanks so much for having me today. Really great to see you again. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
We'll be right back after this short message.
ASRT Foundation scholarship applications are now open. Whether you're just starting your journey or advancing your career, the ASRT Foundation has scholarships designed for entry and professional level students. There's never been a better time to invest in your future. Submit your application by January 13th, 2026 at foundation.asrt.org/scholarships.
That was such a great interview, right?
It was. It was really good to hear Erin's perspective and insights just on the whole experience of it.
Yes.
30-second shoot. It takes almost a whole day to do. So.
Actually, I think a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
I feel like it took us a day and a half, but I don't remember. But yeah, it's long. Lots of takes.
She did a great job.
She really did.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, what? Oh, go ahead, Ray. What?
Guess what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for our We See You segment.
Yes.
Hi, Melissa. It's Colin Bailey from the New York State affiliate. I was just wondering if you could give any advice for upcoming leaders.
Oh, what a great question. Thank you for asking that. Yeah. So advice for upcoming leaders. I think one of the things that I would say out of probably maybe the 1,500 that I would say that I don't have time to say is when you take on a new leadership role, first listen. So if you're talking about like affiliate leadership and you're someone coming in new to a role, take a little time to learn about why things are done the way they are before you become innovative, because you have to respect the history and understand the history, and you'll actually create advocates for what you want to do if they see that you're listening to them and you've respected the past. That'd be one thing.
And I think that's so hard to do, to just stop and listen.
Yes.
Especially for any length of time. If you're so passionate about entering leadership, I would just add, when in leadership, staying resilient, just knowing there's so many unknowns, being adaptable and flexible. Yes. I think your teams look to you to guide them through those things. So yeah, good point. Good question.
Yeah.
And these are
great
just
question.
a few points.
For leaders, communication is so important.
Yeah.
And obviously, we forget sometimes that's not just talking, that's listening, that you really should be intentional about that and ask others for their opinions and what they think about how your whatever organization it is that you're a new leader with, how that should move forward.
Let's hear about your potato.
Culture is so important. We had a question about being a leader, and we didn't really talk about culture and all of that. However, the ASRT culture is amazing, and I want to do a shout out because I do love my potato to ASRT's HR department. So happy National Potato Day. You're spudtacular from Human Resources. And then we got this to sit on our desk. And I just want everybody to see this because it makes me so happy. I think it might make people happy. And if you're someone who listens to our podcast, this is a good time to go to YouTube to actually watch our podcast because you really want to see my potato. And it says, positive potato. I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. Go do your thing. Right?
I love
Isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
So does that take the place of our game?
It does not. It fits in with our game, I think.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever played Mad Libs?
The books?
The sheet of paper and a booklet.
Yeah, like when I was 9.
Yeah. So for today's game, we're playing fill in the blank.
Okay.
I'm going to read a paragraph, but it's missing some words. And that's where you come in. You're going to fill in the blanks.
Okay.
I need an adjective.
Fabulous.
Okay. A family member.
Brother.
Main food dish.
Pizza.
Adjective again.
Mean.
Mean. A verb ending in ing.
Dancing.
A funny animal, plural.
Aardvarks.
Aardvarks. Family member again.
Sister.
Silly household object.
Mop.
Another adjective.
Dirty.
Plural noun.
Ostriches.
Ostriches. Favorite food.
Oh, corn muffins.
Corn. I'm just picturing corn muffins with pizza. Okay. Adjective, lastly.
Pretty.
All right. Well, being it's around Thanksgiving time, I put together this well wish for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So this Thanksgiving, I'm feeling especially fabulous because my brother finally agreed to let me eat the first slice of pizza. The turkey turned out so mean that we all started dancing around the table like a bunch of aardvarks. After dinner, we shared stories about the time my sister accidentally cooked a turkey with a mop. No matter how dirty things get, I am thankful for ostriches. Ostriches. I can't get over it. Lots of corn muffins and everyone who makes life so pretty.
Oh,
That is
see,
that's a good well wish.
It was good. And corn muffins was perfect for Thanksgiving. And I'm so happy I got my sister in there because she's in radio and she always uses me as material. So there you go.
There you go.
She's in this one.
Well, thank you for playing along.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, let's get into our update.
Don't put yourself in a bad position.
Stay up to date with the RAD position.
Join the magnetic resonance team with ASRT's Imaging Assistant MR Bundle. This comprehensive online program equips you with essential skills to provide quality patient care and support MR technologists. Meet ARRT structured education requirements and prepare with confidence for the Imaging Assistant MR exam. Enroll today at asrt.org/imagingassistantmr. So, Melissa, you've mentioned other commercials that we've done for this Be Seen campaign.
Yes. Yeah. So at the same time that we filmed the radiography commercial on that same visit, we also did MR and we did radiologist assistant. Yeah. And then we have future commercials coming out. We're getting ready to film nuclear medicine and CT and mammography and bone densitometry. And then all of the rest of the disciplines are coming too. But we do have those 3 finished and they're already streaming.
How exciting. Well, why don't we show our audience?
Good idea.
Let's roll that footage.
No one wants life to stop, but sometimes life stops you. I'm your magnetic resonance technologist. I'll be taking images of your knee today. It's also my job to keep you safe because the MR scanner is a powerful magnet. We acquire detailed images that radiologists interpret. We play an important role in getting you back to what matters most. Magnetic resonance technologists have always been on the front lines of healthcare, and it's time for us to be seen.
Hi, I'm your registered radiologist assistant.
As an advanced level medical imaging professional with a master's degree, I'm in charge of patient safety and capturing high quality images. I perform a variety of patient care duties and medical imaging exams.
As a proud member of the radiologist-led team, I help reduce patient wait times while allowing radiologists to interpret images.
Radiologist assistants have always been on the front lines of healthcare, and it's time for us to be seen.
Every time I see the commercials, I still get excited watching them.
Yeah.
It's been such a great campaign, and I'm hoping that it really continues to resonate in our profession.
Yeah. What I love about phase 2, right? Phase 1 was about letting the general public know who we are and kind of uplifted us. But the commercials that we're doing now are really with the intention of a patient seeing them and seeing a patient story and seeing themselves. And then realizing, oh, that wasn't a doctor, that wasn't a nurse. There's actually an amazing professional behind what was done with that equipment. So I just think they're absolutely amazing.
Well, we can't wait to see you all next time. But don't forget to write in at RAD Position at ASRT.org or fill out the form at ASRT.org/RAD Position.
Yeah, and subscribe and share. And as I said earlier, if you're not watching, check us out.
And to all our medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals, be seen
and stay rad.